Welcome to this guide on mastering textures and materials with P3D. We are going to be using this amazing model by Andreas Meek. We start by dragging all the necessary files into the 3D view. After a quick inspection, everything looks fine. However, the model's orientation is incorrect. This can affect things like spinning. To solve this, we use the Fix Orientation tool. Use the arrows to intuitively set the correct view. Now, spin works fine. Let's give this model a better default camera angle. Now for the material, let's start by assigning the Diffuse texture. The Diffuse represents the basic color of the model. We select it by using the Texture button. Switching the view to shadeless mode can be a nice way to check the true colors. Next comes the specular. Speculars represent the highlights of the surface, while the glossiness defines the hardness of the highlights. And of course, these attributes can be textured. See how this image defines the color as well as the intensity of the highlights. For the glossiness, we can actually reuse the same texture. See how the red symbols are now shinier than the rest. Next is the glow. This image defines any area in your model that emits light. Any respectable space engine should glow. The glow color can be set with the color picker, or it can come from the diffuse texture. The last of the basic textures we're going to use is the normal map. The normal map is able to add a great amount of detail to the model. Granted, this ship is looking pretty good already, but we can improve it by adding a reflection map. Let's pick one from the default set. I like this blue environment. We can control the strength of the reflection. But what we really need is for the reflection to be weak when we look at it straight, but strong when we look at it at an angle. This effect is called Fresnel. Now, one thing that bothers me is how every part of the model is equally reflective. To correct this, I'll use the diffuse texture as a reflection mask. This makes bright areas be more reflective than dark areas. Since we need a stronger reflection value than what the slider allows us, we can always type it in manually. We now have a surface that looks too perfect, almost unnatural. Detail maps are a great way to break the specular and reflection components, making them look richer and more believable. Let's use one of the built-in bump detail maps to achieve a slightly rugged finish. The effect should be subtle but noticeable.